Well, hello everybody, and welcome to this episode of G Bear's Off-Grid Ways, March 22, 2020. And I want to first start off by saying I hope that this episode finds all of you viewers out there in the best of health and COVID-free. And I hope for you and all of your families that this thing doesn't get to you. I've been hunkering down here so I don't have to go into town and get around people that might have it. This whole county, the biggest county in California, is only got 10 cases. So I like to keep it that low. Let's hunker down and get rid of this thing. Anyway, we're looking at my post here. It's not concreted in yet. It's just compacted in the dirt, and it's about 30 inches deep. And then I got 3 pieces on there with couplers. I welded the top coupler in place, and then this coupler I can take it, loosen up a set screw, take it apart, and I can lower that thing down if I have to do anything on it. So anyway, one of the things that I was going to mention, Aaron, on this unit, the app that they told me to use with this unit, plus the old app that you told me to download, now are both pointing in that direction, which is north. And last time you had me pointing the unit east. Now this thing on the unit inside has all 4 lights lit up, and that I guess that means that it's doing right, because there was no instruction manual with this unit. There was just little tags that said step 1, 2, 3, 4, so forth. So I couldn't look it up to see what the 4 lights mean. But like I said, this is pointing north now, not east like you had me pointing the other one. So I haven't tried it yet. I'm going to try it with uploading this video later tonight, and we'll see how that goes. I'm finally cooking my corned beef and cabbage tonight, and whatever I have left over, I'm probably going to can it in canning jars and then set it on the shelf, so that down the line, if this thing gets any worse and there's food shortages or anything like that, I've got some canned food in here already, like beef stews and soups and things like that I canned myself. Because it's just me, sometimes I cook large quantities of stuff, and instead of letting it go bad in the refrigerator now, I just sanitize some canning jars and put it in canning jars. All right, back to this unit. I'll let you know, Aaron, I didn't get any messages back from you or any calls from you. I hope everything is okay with you and your family. And I know that a lot of people are not going to work. You may not be at work, but I think this is one of the essentials, is actually cell phone service is an essential in life. So if you do see this, I'm going to send this to your cell phone. Let me know if I'm doing right on pointing that the way that the 2 apps now are showing the arrow pointing in exactly that direction. And we'll see how that works. All right. So all these clouds moving in, but big blue sky right above me, clouds over there. And yet it was a call for a 60% chance of rain this afternoon. Well, it's been a call for rain every day so far, and every day so far the clouds come up over the mountains. They dump a bunch of rain over the mountains and snow up high, and then they split up right here, and then some go that way and some go that way. So I haven't been getting any weather. The winds are light right now. That's turning, but it's not producing electricity at that low speed. It needs 9 miles per hour before I start seeing any electricity being produced by it. But my batteries are up in the 14 points area, so I'm not worried about it. I'm well off. Oh, let me just jump back really quickly here. I'm using the through the window unit because this is a temporary setup. And I've got, this thing is 25 feet from the cabin and 15 feet tall. It's actually exactly 15 feet from the ground base to the bottom of the antenna up there. So hopefully that's adequate. It seems to be what the little tag instructions said. I've given that much distance, and I had to use both of the coaxes. They're connected together right here in the middle, but there's some coil here, so because I didn't bring it inside, I used a different piece of coax that I had to go from the through the window strip to the enhancer, or whatever you want to call it. All right, so what else did I do today? Well, besides cleaning the kitchen and getting my Dutch oven out and getting ready to make my corned beef and cabbage, I came over and I worked in the garage for a little while. And what was I working on? A box. Well, not just any box. This is for baby chicks, a baby chick coop. All right, so I've got their food tray over here, and I got a magnet on the bottom, so that locks right into place so they can't knock it around and flip it over. And then over here, my friend Andy would bring water up every time he came up in these 3-liter plastic buckets. So I made a scoop out of it for my wood chips, and this is the bottom that was cut off. Well, I know with baby chicks, because I've been around them before, you want to keep your water shallow so they don't fall in and drown in it. So this will only give them about 1/2 inch of water in the bottom of this thing, which is plenty for baby chicks. And you're looking at this thing and saying, what's that? Well, that's a self-closing, spring-loaded cabinet hinge, and it's been painted. This is when I took off an old set of cabinets I pulled out of a customer's house years ago. And you know me, I save everything. So anyway, what I do is I put that in there and then put this like that, and bing, it holds it in place so they can't knock it around on the floor. All right, so I'm gonna see if I can get down there and show you the knob I use. This is an old knob I found, and it's got 2 little geese on it wearing neckerchiefs, and I thought that would be a pretty neat little thing. Now the screw on it, or the insides of this, was stripped out, so when it's open it rattles, but that doesn't matter because once it snaps down into place, it doesn't rattle anymore. It's solid, so it'll hold there. All right, this board, I got knobs, old cabinet knobs on here too, so one on each side, so I can pull that out when I want to clean the inside of this. I can take all of the units out of the inside of here, and I can sweep everything out, put my dustpan right there, and sweep it into a dustpan and clean it. So what this is for is I would be putting wood shavings on this side for bedding for the baby chicks. And this is only 3/4 of an inch high, so they should be able to get over it and get into there. And this is wedged in, so I put these knobs on it so that I could grab a hold of them and pull up and get them out of there. All right, so you're asking, well, I'm going to leave the top open? No. This is the roof. Okay. Now, I used a piece of that metal I had laying around that I've used before. And on the inside, I put a box made of wood. And that's a piece of that styrofoam insulation in the top of it. So it'll be insulated inside. And this will go right up on top here, and it will slam down into place just like that. And I didn't hit the other side down yet, but it fits real tight so the wind won't blow it off. And if I know that really heavy winds are coming, I've got holes here where I put a couple of screws in, and they don't have to go all the way in, just enough to hit the wood so that the winds can't lift that off. And I've got a little awning on here just for a sunshade, and if it rains, it doesn't run on the sill here. Then I've got this little ramp here, And this is some of that material that you would use for lining your cabinets and things like that. And I glued this down with some contact adhesive, and it's a non-slip, so they can walk up and down without sliding on the board. And this board lifts right out. I've got a piece of angle metal on it on that side that fits behind that piece of wood and locks it right in place so it won't fall out when I don't want it to. All right, the door. You see my little lever here. That's a safety lever so that this won't accidentally guillotine down when the chicks are going in and out. So if I rotate that to one side, then I can push down on this. Oh, well, there it goes. I jammed it down too fast. It just goes down nice and easy like that. So, well, I don't know why it's catching on that one side there, but I'll check that out and see why it's doing that. But anyway, that's the way I set it up so I could close that off, and the chicks are safe inside for the night. Now, around the bottom of this, I had this piece of hardware cloth laying around. It's 1/4-inch hardware cloth, and it's just the right size. Look at that. So I'm going to line this around 3 sides with that hardware cloth. So when they do come out, when they're old enough to come out and go out into the soil, they can go underneath here on a hot day and go under there in the shade and get the air breeze through also. Now this whole unit is going to end up inside of the other chicken run. So it's be just inside the chicken run door on the left-hand side. I've already set it up out there. And I'm going to have attached to this, coming off this side, is going to also be their own little chicken run. Because baby chicks don't get along, well, they get along with everybody, but the older hens don't get along with baby chicks unless they have hatched them themselves, their own little chicks. But they won't get along with other chicks. So until these are old enough to be able to go out on their own and defend themselves, they'll be inside this little coop and their own little private run, separate from Brewster and Nellie down there. So they'll have their own little run here. And I'm going to make it detachable so I can move this thing around if need be. Now, if the temperatures are getting really cold and I have baby chicks in here, of course, I don't want them outside. It'll be too cold for them because they don't have all of their down feathers and plumes all filled in. So what I'll be doing is I can take this right inside of my new patio room, and I can set just this part without the run on the floor, and I can pull the cover on it so that the heat can get into it. And that room is heated at night, so they'll stay nice and warm in there. All right. So that was my project for today, and I hope you all enjoyed that little episode. And I'm going to get ready to close things up in here, go have myself a cold one, and see if the rains ever come. And my little attic critter was back again last night, and he doesn't sound very strong, so I don't know. Maybe he's been getting out and eating some of the rat poison, and he's getting weaker by the day. But I've been putting rat poison in the holes out there every day. I fill the hole up so that you can't even get through the hole with the rat poison that I bought at Home Depot. And every day I get up and it's all gone. It's just all gone. So I don't know if they're pack rats that are storing it up or if they're eating it and it's not doing anything or whatever. So I'm going to have to come up with plan Z. I think I'm at the end of the alphabet here with all of the things that I've tried. All right, everybody. That's it for now. Remember, give me a thumbs up down there. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and share with your friends, and download. If you have problems with speeds and things like that, you can download the video and then watch it offline. And it won't buffer on you. All right. G-Bear signing off.